Hi everybody! So today I covered Alice in Wonderland in my Disney Canon rewatch, and so I thought it seemed appropriate to talk about the 2010 Alice in Wonderland from Tim Burton. We know that the sequel is coming out, Alice Through the Looking Glass, in May, I believe. I know a lot of people love this film, and that's awesome. I'm glad that you do. Let me talk a little bit about it and kind of give my take on it. So in this version of Alice in Wonderland, Wonderland is more of an escape than it is a diving into the imagination of Alice. In Alice in Wonderland, the animated movie, she has this idea of the way she thinks the world would be better, and she gets to dive into this world of nonsense that she's created and realize that it's not actually better. This version of Alice in Wonderland is set in like the early 1800s, I think. And she is at this very staunch party, and she is basically told, this is your engagement party, and you have to accept the proposal of this man named Hamish. And she is this bold thinker, and she doesn't want to do what everyone tells her to do, and all of this. And so she gets this proposal from this guy, and she runs away and ends up stumbling into Wonderland. Well, she arrives there, and it turns out that she's not the first Alice to have arrived. This is a different Alice. And she does see the bunny. I forgot to mention that. She arrives in Wonderland, but it's really Underland in this version of the story, which I guess is in the book, but whatever. And so they keep saying this is part of her dream, or this is her dream, but like, you get no sense in the real world that she is dreaming of these things, or that like in the animated movie, you get an actual statement from her of, I think the world would be better if it was based on nonsense. I think that things would be better if all books had pictures, for instance. And her teacher says, no, you're wrong. And so there's this sense of the kind of world that she wishes she could have. And you never get that sense in the regular life Alice. You just get the sense that she's a free thinker and she doesn't want to do what other people tell her, but never a sense of her idea of a world or imagination. So anyway, but she's presented with this world of Underland or Wonderland or whatever. And instead of meeting a whole bunch of different characters and kind of facing different challenges within those characters, this movie takes it on a totally different direction, where it turns out that Underland basically kind of needs to be saved. And it's sort of like Narnia in a way with the White Witch. This is the Queen of Hearts, who's played by Helena Bonham Carter. And like I said in my review of Alice in Wonderland, that movie is so smart about using these really strong characters for just long enough that you don't get sick of them. Here, you get them for way too long. And something like the Queen of Hearts, that character is tough to take for an entire movie. And it just turns into a whole lot of shouting. And basically, the story of this version of Alice in Wonderland is that there's the right Alice that they're waiting for to come and take the Red Queen out of power and put the White Queen, her sister, in power. So you're getting some Wizard of Oz allusions, you're getting some Narnia allusions, some different things like that. And it turns out that there is this prophecy that Alice will come and save the people. And Alice meets on her journey to try to find the White Queen and then end up taking on the Queen of Hearts. She meets the Hatter, who played by Johnny Depp, of course. And this is a very different version of the Mad Hatter. Instead of it being about nonsense, it's a kind of a manicness about it, a depressive nature about it. That he has this sort of war veteran. He's sort of hiding her. He's very scared about what's going on. There's just no fun at all with him or his character or anything like that. It's almost like apocalyptic at a certain point. And yeah, and so there's also this character, the Knave, who's played by Crispin Glover, who is sort of the henchman of the Queen of Hearts, and he at a certain point tries to seduce Alice, and that's really weird. And there's a lot of weird moments in this film. You do get the caterpillar voiced by Alan Rickman, and he, of course, is good in his vocal performance. You get Anne Hathaway as the White Queen, and she is fine, but she's kind of annoying through it all. Like, pretty much every scene that she's in, she's always doing that with her hands, like, it's like, stop, like, be a person, be a character, like. And it turns out that there's this Jabberwocky that is threatening the people, and so they need a warrior who's going to take on the Jabberwocky. And so there's this climactic battle that comes between Alice, where she's reigned in her, it's almost like a Joan of Arc kind of a feel, where she takes on the Jabberwocky, and there's just, it's carnage and fire and whatever. It's frustrating to me because this movie is very, very unpleasant. I just find it unpleasant to watch. Like, it's shouty, it's so generic. I mean, if you look at just the story, it's like a million other, how different is it than Snow White and the Huntsman, or Oz the Great and Powerful, or, I mean, it's just, it takes this story that's so unique and so much fun and turns it into just this generic Twilight version of Alice in Wonderland. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And people, it won Oscars for the costumes and the visual design at the time, and I guess it must have been pretty cool in the 3D because this made over $1 billion. But to me, the visuals are very, very flat. Once you kind of get introduced to the world, it's very gray and it's very brown, and I don't know, to me it's just like blah. I don't really like it, and it just misses any of that artistry or that creativity that you had with like the Mary Blair artwork of the original animated film. Get it that this is probably in the book or more accurate to the book or whatever, but it's kind of similar to people that are defending Batman versus Superman based on it being like the comic books. It doesn't really matter. You have to tell a good story, and this just comes off as being extremely generic and looking like a million other movies, and it's just unpleasant and drab and boring. Oh my gosh, this movie is so boring, and it's just shouty, and I don't like it. I'm sorry if you like it. I do not like it. And I liked it even less watching after the animated film yesterday. I don't know what Tim Burton was thinking. It just doesn't have any of his sort of whimsy or his sort of forgotten characters that aren't understood. It just has a bunch of sort of shouty, annoying characters, and it's frustrating. It really, really is. You don't have anybody that you are rooting for or that you like, and so, but this bland chosen one, is she really the chosen one? Whatever, I don't even care. So I do not like this movie. I'm sorry. I don't know. I give it a D. It does have some pretty, I guess, visuals, I guess, if you like that style, but I don't really, I don't know, I don't like it. So it's hard to give this an F, but it's not for me. So yeah, let me know what you think if you like this, and are you excited about the new one coming out in May? Put in the comments section, and thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!